Hi guys! We'll start a series of lectures on bash arrays. Up until now, we've worked only with variables. However, a variable can hold a single value and sometimes this is not enough. Fortunately, bash provides one-dimensional, indexed and associative arrays. Arrays are one of the most used and fundamental data structures in any programming language. Think of an array as a variable that stores multiple values within it. Arrays are useful for storing related data together. Let's see how to create an array. Bash arrays can be initialized in different ways. One way to create a numerically indexed array is to specify the list of elements within parentheses separated by empty spaces. For example, ages equals and a pair of parentheses. And now the elements. Note there's no maximum limit on the size of an array. This is a numerically indexed array because each element in the array has a position or an index which starts from 0, like in all other programming languages. If you want to print the array using the $name notation, it will not print the entire array, but only the first element, the one at index 0. To print the whole array, use this syntax. Echo, $, a pair of curly braces, the name of the array in curly braces, a pair of square brackets, and at in between. You can also use star instead of at, instead of ampersand, but there is a difference between star and ampersand regarding quoting and word splitting. The same rules we've seen at positional parameters apply here too. So, if you want, you can take a look at that section to see the differences between star and ampersand. And if you want to print only the indices of the elements of the array, add an exclamation mark in the curly braces before the array name. These are the indices. If you use a hash instead of exclamation mark, it will print out how many elements are in the array. There are 4 elements in the array. Now, if you want to access an element of an array, you use the array name and the index of the element you want to access between square brackets. This is the element at index 0, this is the element at index 2, or the element at index 1. Also note that in contrast to other programming languages, if you access an element at an index that does not exist, you won't get an out-of-index error. There's no error, even though there's no element at index 100. These numerically indexed arrays can also be accessed from the end using negative indices where the index of -1 references the last element. This is the last element of the array. And this is the element before the last element of the array. Note that an indexed array is created automatically if any value is assigned using this syntax. For example, numbers of 0 equals 100. I've just created a new array called numbers with one element, 100, at index 0. And I'm adding a new element to the array. Let's see the elements of the array. And the indices. And you can change the value of an element in the array by writing, for example, numbers of 1 equals 600. I've just changed the element at index 1 to 600. And if you want to explicitly declare an array, use the declare built-in. For example, declare -a names. And the names of 0 equals Dan. Names of 1 equals Alina. And so on. I'm printing the entire array. Also note that the array members don't need to be consecutive or contiguous. For example, I'm adding a new element to the array at index 7, even though at the moment the array has only 3 elements and the last element has index 2. Let's see the array and the indices. So, gaps in the array are okay. In fact, arrays with sparse data are called sparse arrays and are useful in spreadsheet processing software where there are often gaps. And if you want to remove an element of the array, use the unset built-in. Unset names of 1. I'm removing the element at index 1. Alina was removed. Index 1 is gone. Note that index arrays do not update automatically, so the previous command has created a gap in the array. Okay, that was a short introduction to bash arrays. We'll take a short break, and in the next video, we'll dive deeper into arrays.